because otherwise you're going to sweat out and probably faint before the thing starts.
Yeah, especially in Israel, right?
Yeah, for sure. And it was in the desert, so that was ridiculously hot. But I think that the main thing to kind of consider when you're doing that sort of thing is really prepare everything in advance. And when I mean everything in advance, like I tend to call the band or the manager and really go through the whole process of what's going to happen during the day, what's going to be the timeline, who's going to stand where, talk to the film guy to make sure that it's cool with him, really like kind of prepare all the details, and then go into the technical details of like, I'm going to use this mic with this stand, it's going to be right over there, and like have it all in your head and maybe write it down as well. And and when you get to the point of like the actual doing of it, you just go and do it. So I don't know.
Like
I think
executing what you've already prepared in advance. You're just, okay, this is, it's all mentally there. You just got to go do it.
Yeah. You gotta kind of really, really be ready for the unknown during the day as well. Because I don't know, from my experience, something always goes wrong during those sessions.
Yes.
Like in this case with the Tron, I really remember what went wrong, and it was kind of hilarious too. Because what happened was, I had everything set up. I came. I think like 2 hours before they came. They arrived, and I really kind of hooked everything up, did a mic check, made sure that everything's working properly, put on headphones, checked the headphone mixes. Like I was really, really prepared. And then they came and they started playing, and the film crew was like, "Can we move to the other side of the hill because the lighting isn't that great?" And I was like, "No, dude, we can't do that right now." That would be terrible.
Oh my God.
But
oh my God.
But yeah, that we did. We moved everything. I think like
the film people always win.
They always win. They always win.
Right?
Yeah. I hate them. I literally hate everybody. Anybody who has a camera on him or like is part of a film crew. I hate you.
We
guys.
make their videos sound so good, and they make our job so hard.
Yeah. I've had the most ridiculous experiences with film crews. I mean, people asking me like, "Can we move the mic out of the frame?" And it's like, like a live recording of a vocalist, and I'm like, I can't. That sort of
I've
thing.
had that also.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, man, they got to start learning how audio works, and then maybe we'll all get along, or we can have like a Zoom conference, a Corona 2020 Zoom conference between the audio guys and the video people, guys and girls, or something. Yeah, well, I'm glad to hear that I'm not the only one that got stressed out about live sessions, but it is really rewarding. There's something great about capturing a live performance in a different location that could be fun and just inspiring,
It's super fun. It's really, really fun. And if you're prepared for it, it's usually a really good experience. I mean, another thing that I always do is I kind of, in advance, try and do headphone mixes even before the band starts playing, so they can like put their in-ears or headphones on and they can hear something,
Right.
I never really got a good understanding of like why certain engineers have this thing where they're like, "Give me a kick," and then they'll pull up the kick on the headphones, and then like, "Give me just a snare, just a hi-hat, I don't know." Usually the musicians get super frustrated by the time you're done.
Yeah.
Yeah. They end up hating you. So I don't know.
So you gotta be silent and
you gotta prepare, man.
Yeah, gotta prepare.
Yeah,
absolutely. So let's talk about, I guess, your work with other artists. Like how do you find artists to work with, or how do they find you? How do you start your professional relationships?
Ever since I started working at Artlists, I'm not taking any external work. So basically I'm client free right now, which
Oh,
is
wow.
amazing.
So I was going to ask you about Artlist. So tell me everything about it. Like, what is this company? What do they do, and what's your role in the company?
Sure. So Artlist is Artlist.io is a royalty-free music library, and basically everybody should check out the website. It's Artlist.io, and we basically have a really, really large music catalog for video creators. And the general idea is, let's say you're a video creator and you're doing either like you're doing a vlog, you could be doing like a commercial, you could be doing anything that's video related. You probably need music. And Artlist basically has this really, really awesome kind of monthly subscription where, as a video editor, you can pay a monthly subscription and you don't have to worry about any other fees, any royalties, anything. Basically, you could just download the songs you like and keep doing what you do, which I think is kind of revolutionary compared to other companies out there.
Right, I know about like Audio Jungle and Audio Blocks, and there's like a bunch of other these kind of companies.
Right. So yeah, I mean, usually these companies offer you certain amounts of like options when you're downloading a song. So it's like you need to choose, if you're doing a TV commercial, you have to pay a specific amount, and then if you're doing like, I don't know, like a full blown like Netflix production, you got to pay a different amount. And I think it's very limiting for certain people. I mean, I'm not a video editor, but I would assume that like if you're making like a documentary and you don't know where that documentary is going to land, you can't really use royalty free music. I guess other than Artlist or websites like Artists, because you'll end up having to remove some of the music because copyright claims and stuff like that. So, I mean, it's just a simpler way to...
Yeah, I feel like it's also kind of like maybe like Splice or something even, where you're just kind of like, oh, does this one work with this scene? Let's download another one. Does this one work with this scene? Like, I feel like it probably makes it much easier to kind of try things out.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, it's kind of, in a way, it's more freeing. I think it's like a freedom to create kind of situation.
Nice.
But yeah, we basically have tons of new music coming in every day, and we go through everything. So I'm head of audio, and the audio department basically takes care of mastering all the songs, and we make sure that everything's up to kind of standard in terms of levels. We make sure that the customers are happy. So if there's any kind of customer requests or any support needed in terms of audio, we take care of that, and a bunch of other things related to audio on the website. Yeah.
Nice. So you're basically mastering for Artlist on like a daily basis.
Oh yeah.
If I'm getting this correct.
Yep.
Do you mix for it as well? Do you do mixes?
Certain productions get mixes. Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
But usually it's more of kind of either mastering or even just QAing it, making sure that it's up to standard, that sort of thing.
Amazing. So you're at the point now where this is kind of your full-time thing, the Artlist.
Yep.
And you don't take any extraneous work whatsoever.
No.
Nice. Was that an easy decision, or was that a difficult decision?
Yeah, I mean, it's a dream job, I feel. Like I've always been a freelancer, basically, my whole life.
Yeah.
So I've never had a proper job before this, and I love it. I love the fact that I can wake up and just go to work and do the thing that I'm made to do, instead of like taking care of like bills and taking care of customers.
Yeah.
And doing all the freelance stuff that I think almost every musician, sound engineer, producer knows what I'm talking about. It's like 30-40% of the work,
Yeah, of course. And especially in Israel, where it's kind of the way taxation works here, it's extremely difficult to be a freelancer. It's just like because we're B2C business, right? We're business to customer, and like the way the VAT works here, it's just super difficult.
It's retarded. It's basically a very, very difficult system. Yeah, but I mean, I think as a freelancer, to answer your previous question about how do I get work or how did I used to get work, I think two things. The first thing is being around, and I think that's probably the most important part of getting work is being around. So if you're hanging around in a studio or a rehearsal space that has a lot of bands coming in and out, you're probably gonna get a gig at some point.
Yeah. Just gotta keep showing up.
Yeah. Seriously though, I think these days, especially like with the Corona situation and everything, it's getting harder and harder for like young people who are starting up to hang around studios. But I still think it's probably the most efficient way of getting jobs. I don't know, like I guess there's an equivalent to hanging around in the digital world. I don't know.
It's hard. No, it can't possibly be the same thing. I actually started a WhatsApp group for like people that listen to the show. It's actually mostly people that have been on the show. We're just kind of like it's like a water cooler where like you talk about like, hey, this is what I'm working on. What do you think? Or like, what do you think of this plugin? Or should I get new monitors? My monitor, like that was my question. Like whatever it is. And it's so important to like talk to other people that do what you do, and I guess even more important to talk to artists that you would maybe want to work with. And it's just how do you even do that it's so difficult. Like a WhatsApp group is just like a fraction of what a real in-person thing. It's like
true.
I don't know. This generation of audio engineers are kind of screwed in that sense, because like even me, like I'm not that young. I'm like in my 30s, and like I couldn't get an internship when I wanted to get into this field. Like I had to do it myself. There was no other way, you know, and that's not as good. There's no way that's as good as interning with somebody who really knows what they're doing. Yeah.
I feel like probably the most I've learned is from seeing somebody do something, or hear somebody like in the room, seeing him like tweak a compressor or like put a mic in front of a instrument and being like, oh, that sounds awesome. But yeah, the second thing I wanted to say though about getting work is if you do get a job, I think that a lot of times, especially in the kind of audio business, people tend to forget that it's a service. It's a customer-based service. So people get caught up with like their own idea of how things should sound like, or their concept of what it should sound like, or I don't know, a bunch of those kind of ideas. And the more experienced I got, the more I realized that you need to make sure you're making the customer happy, basically. I think in the States, people get it better than in other places, like in Israel. But I think it's a really, really big thing in getting more work, because most of the like producers, most of the musicians, if they have a good experience with you, if they have a good time hanging around with you in the studio, they'll probably want to come back and hang out again. That's pretty much, I think, how people see it. And as engineers, sometimes you get caught up with like getting the sound to be perfect, or like being super focused about the kick drum or whatever. And
oh God,
like I've literally missed a bunch of gigs just learning that lesson of like being in the room.
I think it's a maturity thing. I think it's true in America also. Everywhere. I think everybody, when they're getting started, like, this is my thing, check out my sound. It's like, you don't even have a sound yet. Like, patience, like, serve the artists. And then, eventually you have to let your ego go in order to become a better audio engineer, a better producer, whatever it is,
Yeah, for sure. I think that it's also something that is easier said than done in a lot of cases, where you're like caught up with something and